Grandpa, would you take $1 million, but you have to eat an entire bag of dog food in 1 year?
He has a whole year to eat the
A
dog.
50-pound bag of dog food
Yeah, like the kind like that Randall eats, the big yellow bag that you get from the elevator.
for $1 million?
Yes.
That's only like
I
a
don't know.
couple
I have to think about
But
that
if
for
you
a
don't
while.
finish like every last speck and it's like December 31st, then you just wasted the entire year and you ate an entire bag of dog food and then you just have stinky breath.
I'm, sh- I'm sure there are a lot of people that ate dog food over the years.
You think so?
Well, I know so.
Yeah.
I know some people that down in Cowtown that live
When I was a kid, I would try different like animal foods.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
all
what?
the treats that we'd have, like guinea pig treats.
Family
I
of
was pretty
nine,
young.
I would eat it in 2 weeks. No
Yeah.
problem. $1 million. Sign the check.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I would I would eat the dog food is the question, but I would never eat that. That's one of my things that I'm really very grossed out by in life is dog food and cat food
Oh,
because it just stinks, especially like wet cat food.
well,
Well,
cat,
cat
food,
food
but
is
dog
terrible.
food's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Dog food is.
go to the bank. Don't tell me I've never tried one of their treats.
yeah. Well, those milk bones look pretty good.
They're
Sometimes
real.
when I used to work back at Culver's, people would come with their dogs, and you have to give out a free scoop with a dog treat in it, and sometimes I'd be like, "It looks pretty good." You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't
No,
if it was
when we
free, I'd eat
had,
that.
I used to have hairless cats,
Oh
and
my
because
God.
of their skin, you met them before. You both
I
met them.
did.
Yes, yes.
We
Because
don't want
they
to
have a
talk
lot
about
of
it, but
skin
yes.
problems, and like they're like bred in a way that is not natural. So to sort of counteract the issues that they get, you're supposed to feed them raw food.
Mm,
So would you eat the raw food?
no,
It was like
for a mi-
raw.
like
It was
just
like slop,
foul.
like
Uh-huh.
raw slop meat, raw meat,
Okay.
like all chopped up. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't know that I'd eat that, but
No.
Yeah.
But I
My,
think that regular, like Purina dog chow, I think that's processed. And I don't know.
All
It's
day
probably not
long.
the best cuts of meat and whatever they throw in there. There's a lot of
Leeches,
grain.
minnows,
throw
lot
it
of
in your taco
soybeans
or
in there.
something.
There's a lot of soybeans and there's corn and there's
Yeah.
all kinds of grains in that stuff, you know. And
all good.
yeah,
I think
Okay.
most foods
But-
have a lot of soy in them for animals.
yeah,
Yeah,
protein, high in protein.
mainly soy stuff.
what's like your like thing that you guys think is gross but is normal? Like, I hate dog food and I hate like when I put like meat in the
Oh.
refrigerator, like especially like ground beef when you have to like scoop it out and it's all like stuck together and cold and you have to warm it up for leftovers to make like leftover tacos. I hate that. I don't know why.
That doesn't bother me so much.
Yeah.
Oranges.
Oranges.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
The only
You
fruit
chew
because of the
avocado.
strands in it.
Oh, because of the
I
thing.
peel it and it takes forever to peel, and then I'll eat a piece of it, and like makes like my gag reflex.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
why, but it does.
You're not grossed out by anything?
Not too much.
Nope.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
But cleaning fish and you get some of the raw fish on your cup and you drink that, that grosses me out. I start
Well,
to gag.
that's pretty
But
understandably.
it's raw fish.
Yeah.
You're not grossed out by anything, Grandpa?
Oh, I'm sure I am. You know, as far as food goes, something that really smells after a while is if you have chicken wrappings. You take out chicken and roll the wrappings up and throw it in the wastebasket and leave it sitting there for a couple of days.
What's the wrappings?
You know, the paper wrappings that the chickens are wrapped in. You know, the chicken, like chicken breasts and stuff. And you take it apart and you take and process the food and then leave that stuff in the wastebasket for a couple of days and it just gets really ripe and I don't like the smell of that. It doesn't really gross me up. I just don't like the smell of it.
Well, sometimes you would eat the most foul, like when I would go to daycare at your house, you'd have like that little Tupperware of like, I don't, what was it, what is it, like salmon or whatever?
Oh,
and it'd be
grandma used to
Grandma
do that.
used-
grandma.
grandma.
That's that. I was like,
Mhm.
oh
I
god.
liked
I
that.
got the
though.
bones and everything in there. Yeah.
I liked that.
The same
That's
as
real
when we would be in
Oh.
Duluth and when you'd have,
Oh yeah, boy.
I'd be like,
smoked salmon.
I'd like open your door. I'm like, oh shit, he has smoked salmon. I gotta leave. It smells
Yeah.
disgusting.
That's
in
one of
this
the things
room.
that Grandma misses about not going to Duluth this year.
Oh.
Jeff doesn't get a chance to buy salmon. She loves that salmon from that.
I'll get her
that
some.
She eats
market.
that salmon.
Oh, it's good.
That's foul.
Yeah.
That's foul.
when it's smoked, it doesn't smell bad.
Yeah.
though.
Right.
I think.
It doesn't smell as bad. It's not as bad as the at daycare when they had that Tupperware and it'd be like brown
You're talking
liquid, disgusting.
Like canned salmon.
Yeah.
Canned
Well,
bad, purple.
The thing that really
Cat food.
gags me, and I haven't smelled it for many, many years, but years ago, they were hauling sludge from the pig's eye treatment plant and spreading it on farm fields out in our area. And that stuff smelled like rotting human flesh.
Yeah, it was.
That brings out the gag reflex in me when I used to drive down the roads. It's just awful smell.
Because all they do there is it's a sewage treatment.
It's a sewage
Right,
treatment
that's what
plant,
it
and,
is.
and they. What happened was they've got burners there. They burn it. Well, the burners went down, so they had all this excess sludge, and they tried to talk the farmers into taking
how
it on
good
the
it
fields.
was.
The problem was it was filled with heavy metals. You know, it had all kinds of different cadmium, zinc, and all kinds of stuff from all the factories and stuff they were dumping into the pig's eye treatment plant. And but the smell is what got me. Oh my heavens! There's just it's like rotting human flesh. It's a smell that you just can't get out of your head. It's
Can't erase.
terrible.
Yeah.
That's the worst as far as I'm concerned. I've been sprayed by skunks and stuff, and that's not good. But that stuff, that sludge was really bad.
You've actually been sprayed by a skunk?
Well, pretty close to it, yeah. When I was a kid, we trapped a big skunk down in the woods one day, and we took the gun down to shoot it. And when we shot it, we forgot to figure out which way the wind was blowing. It sprayed. It came over, and it smelled like you got a fresh balloon, and you open a balloon, and you can smell that inside of the balloon. Only it's 100 times stronger, and it just overwhelms you. And I could just see the spray coming with the wind. I thought, oh no! And we were pretty well covered with it. We weren't sprayed directly, but
Right.
it was as close as I ever wanted to become.
Isn't that hard to get off?
Yes, I
Did it
shot a
work?
skunk in my garage with a pellet gun one time, and it sprayed. I didn't hit it just right in the head, and it sprayed. And for years after, on damp, humid days, you could go in that corner, in that far corner, and you could smell that. It was right in the concrete and right in the wood. It lasted for years. I can't smell it anymore, but it's several years at least. You could smell it on certain days when the humidity got high. It's a pretty potent smell. But,
Yeah.
but I assume if you got sprayed right in the face by a skunk, it would trigger your gag reflexes because it's so overwhelming. But
It smells like something else to me.
Does the tomato juice thing actually, or is that an actual thing that works?
I never tried that. I don't know if they say it works, but have you ever tried it, Jeff?
It does help. I got sprayed with a dog one time,
Yeah.
and it was not good. But
Yeah, you wash them off.
well, the dog went on point. I told her to get it. I thought it was a pheasant, and it ended up being a skunk. We both got sprayed when I got back to the house. Nobody would let me in, but
yeah,
So you like bathe in it, or what do you do?
yeah,
you put it on you. But it helps. But it's not.
it's not.
It's
cure-all.
not. It's not a cure-all like they say.
Right. It's not like in like movies and TV shows or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
Like when Curious George got
Urban-
sprayed by a
it's-
skunk and then he had like the entire bath filled with tomato juice.
it's urban myth for sure.
That's
You-
what I thought I was supposed to fix it.
Like an actual bath.
Yeah.
2 weeks it gets better.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you I've been saying like what's your like I asked like someone a couple weeks ago what their favorite smell was, and I said when you open a fresh thing of tennis balls.
Ooh,
You
that's a
played-
good smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what I was
I
talking
like
about.
a new car smell is a good
Yeah.
smell.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember you guys would get a new lease car or something, and you'd get in that car and it'd be like, oh, this smells really good.
I'd
My
say
That's
parents-
true.
I'd say a cigar until you light it. A cigar until you light it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like a
that's
pipe
way
until you
worse.
light it. You know what I mean? Until you get it burnt.
You ever go to the casino and you smoke a cigar?
I've been there, yes.
But do you smoke a cigar there ever?
Yeah.
People hate that shit when you do that, like at the table.
That's fine. They smoke cigarettes. I don't care.
Well, I know.
Why
but
do
for
they hate it
some-
when you smoke at
Disrespect
the
is
casino?
disrespect.
Nobody says anything when you smoke a cigarette because so many people do
I
it. But
don't
you
care.
smoke a cigar and people like, it's like the end of the world.
I
Why?
like it. I kind of get a kick out of it.
I like
I
the
don't
smell,
really.
but-
It's kind of disrespectful, but if they're smoking, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, for me, if I were to smoke a cigarette, I don't mind the smell. But if I smell someone else smoking a cigarette, I hate the
Well,
smell.
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know why that is, but
When I was a kid, I used to love the smell of cigar smoke. And then when my oldest sister was born, I think maybe it was my youngest sister. I'm trying to think. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. My dad bought a whole box of Harvester cigars to pass out at work. That was a tradition back in those days. We had it up in the cupboard, hidden away up there. He didn't use them all, so they were up there for a year at least. They're getting pretty dry.
Oh yeah.
So one day
Prime
I
time.
thought it would be kind of fun to sneak a couple of cigars out. So I got 3 of them. We went over to the neighbor kids and we were working in the plain in the woods. So we all 3 of us lit them up. We were really big shots, smoking on puffing those cigars. I don't think any one of us inhaled them, but after a while I noticed my brother was hanging over, leaning over a tree. Was, what's the matter with you? And all of a sudden it hit me, and oh man, all 3 of us got really sick from those things. Steve and I went home. We climbed the stair. I literally crawled up the stairs. My mother said, "What's wrong with you 2?" We went upstairs and we just could hardly make it up the steps. I got in bed and all. Ever since then, I can't stand the smell of cigar smoke. It just drives me crazy. And a year or so after that, my uncle was invited to go pheasant hunting out by Ortonville with a neighbor guy, and he invited my dad and he invited me too. So the 4 of us got in a car, and the driver of the car, first thing we did, I sat in the back seat right behind him. The first thing he did is lit up a big cigar, and all the way out there, I almost died. I couldn't hardly stand it. I rolled the window down, and then smoke would come back, and ever since I just can't stand the smell of cigars. I like the smell of pipe smoke,
Right.
but cigars I just can't stand ever since that.
but
time.
you smoked cigarettes for a while.
Very short time.
After that or before that?
After that, because I was just a young kid at that time. I was maybe I don't know, 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that. 8th, 9th grade, yeah, probably.
What do you mean pipe smoke? Like the
Pipe, smoking a pipe.
But when was the last time you've ever seen someone smoke a pipe?
You don't see that anymore. But when I was in college, a fair number of people smoked
I
pipes.
smoked a pipe.
Yeah.
We wear a hat like this.
That doesn't
and smoke
surprise
pipe.
me.
Meow meow.
Well,
you ever smoked a cigarette?
Yeah.
I know you like
Just
cigars.
don't inhale. But my dad, same thing. My dad went on a cruise ship, came back with a Cuban cigar. 3 brothers snuck it out, smoked it. We all were puking hardcore. My dad laughed really hard because he was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, you learn.
have another."
Yeah. The first
That's
time
why me and Bill Clinton have never inhaled. That's all I can tell. I smoke 20 cigars a year, but I do not inhale.
First time I tried chewing, I went out with some friends who were going to go mudding in their trucks, and I had a Grand Prix. And we went into this cornfield down off of, it was just off
North
where
Lake.
you live. No,
oh, thanks for saying my exact place where I live.
kind of off of
200.
629.
Log 800.
You can bleep that out.
Oh, yeah. I'll bleep out the number of the thing, but
But that was in the car that I
Rolled
flipped. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
But
what? Did you flip the green one?
No.
the one before that. My first car I bought from their neighbors.
Oh, I didn't know you had a car before the green one.
Yep.
Yeah.
For how long?
Bought it for $800. Flipped it, and because of it was totaled, and they gave me $2,400.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But anyway, I was driving that car, and the people I was going with, they were chewing, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to try some?" And it was just like a pouch type thing. I put it in.
Skull bandit.
I think it was a pouch. Yeah, something like that. And driving along for a few minutes, and they keep going, and I was like, "Dude, I gotta pull over." And I had my foot out the car, the door open, my foot out the car, and I was just sitting there like this. And the friend that was with, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "You gotta stop talking, dude. I can't. Like, don't talk to me. Don't do anything." I was like on the very edge of just throwing up.
Spinning, yeah.
I've chewed many times since then, but it was very bad.
Never
Yeah,
tried that.
Not good.
No.
No,
I did it for like 6 months over a period of time when I
You don't realize
tried to
how-
stop vaping.
what
It's
kind
very
of-
addicting.
What kind of impact nicotine and that stuff has on you, but when I was smoking in college. Then I got in 1964 when I got spent the whole summer in the hospital. I was feeling towards the end
You're
of it.
smoking in the hospital?
No, well, you could back in those days.
I
Everybody
know.
smoked in the hospital, doctors and nurses and everything. But anyway, I was in the hospital bed, and my roommate was in there. He had severe coronary artery disease. He had a couple of heart attacks, and the doctors told him he got two of your coronary arteries are totally blocked. The other one's like 80% blocked. He's a smoker. He smoked Pall Mall cigarettes, those big long ones, no filter.
No filter.
Yeah,
Real
and
deal.
so I was feeling kind of cocky one day, and I said, "Hey, Virgil," I says, "give me one of them cigarettes." And he flipped one of those things over, and I lit that sucker up, and I took one drag off it, and it went right through my head like, holy man, I couldn't believe it. And I said, I butted it out, and I said, "That's it for me," and that's when I quit smoking. But
when you haven't had one in a while.
Oh my heavens! I couldn't
hits you
believe,
like a truck. Yeah.
what it just was overwhelming. It
Yep.
it woke me up. I thought, none of this. And that was about a year before the Surgeon General's report came out.
How long did you
1965.
smoke for?
Just a couple of years when I was in college.
How did you stop?
That's
He
when
just
I
said it.
stopped.
Oh, that's how you stopped.
Well, I quit. All the while, the whole summer, I was too sick to smoke. I couldn't even sit up in bed, let alone smoke a cigarette. And well, then when I started feeling better, my temperature, I was running a temperature of 106. And when that started going down, then I was feeling, and I started eating something. I lost 50 some pounds. I was down to 115 pounds. And then I started feeling a little bit better. And I thought, God, them cigarettes, you smoke them in the hospital room. They didn't really care. They didn't want him to smoke because they knew that, anything. He said, you could walk over that window. He wanted to walk over the window and wave to his wife and kids. And the doctor said, you walk over that window, Virgil, and you may not make it back. That's how bad he was. But anyway, so I bummed a Pall Mall from him and took one drag, and I thought, that's it. So basically, getting very, very sick probably saved my life in the long run.
Yeah,
Because I stopped smoking.
Sure.
I want a contention of when you had polio. I haven't heard much about that. I want to
Me
hear that
neither.
story.
Like French polio, I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't heard like the story of how that all went.
Well, it was in 8th grade.
Oh, you were pretty young then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to get a flu shot, and it just went bad. I was the one in a million.
Swine flu, right?
Swine flu.
Yeah.
I was the lucky one that was the one in a million.
Well,
and
lucky one.
it didn't agree with me, and I lost 30 pounds of muscle. I was in the hospital for 22 days, and
How'd you know it was? You get a fever or what happened?
no, I was like, I thought I had pulled some muscles in my leg, and pretty soon I couldn't walk. And then my brothers dragged me back home pheasant hunting, and they took me to. And normally that wouldn't have been a good thing, but the doctor was from overseas, Dr. Tan, and he knew exactly what I had. Sent me up to North Memorial, and then I was there for 21 days. And I got really lucky that I was so young it didn't hit my respiratory system or whatever, so just bounced back. But skinny arms and skinny wrists and skinny legs, but pretty fortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Grandma got swine flu shot. She got sick from that too, but she
Well, a
didn't,
lot
she
of
didn't get that.
More people did. That
Yeah,
one was not like a good batch, but
Yeah.
that was when they were doing live virus too.
Yeah, right.
Now they don't, so
No.
it's different.
All
But
difference. Yeah, the technology has changed
yeah,
dramatically.
for sure. But
But
it's like winning the lottery, just the wrong lottery.
Right. I have not had any illnesses at all, and I have also not smoked any tobacco or consumed any
Well,
tobacco of any
There we
kind.
go.
You're still young.
So that is why I have not said anything in the past 10 minutes on the podcast.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
I have
I'm gonna probably have a scar tomorrow, but I don't want to nail. We'll point that out.
talked about you once on the podcast, and I've said you randomly listened to this part. This is a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
This was when me and you went ice fishing with Cade. So, and then I think there's like basically what happened was it was like me, you, and Cade went ice fishing once, and it was whatever, fine, whatever. And then, or maybe actually the first time was this, where we went fishing, ice fishing, caught literally nothing the entire time. It was still a fun time. But then, right when we were leaving, someone had packed snow on top of their previously used hole, and my entire right leg fell through it.
For sure.
And then for some reason, my logic was, oh my God, I can't tell Jeff, otherwise he's gonna get mad. So then I not only didn't tell you I had my cold leg the entire night, then I just had my boots and my snow pants were soaking wet I had like recess the next day because I was in like
But you guys
elementary
were in
school.
my heated ice shack. You were safe.
No, we were fine, but that was at the end, so we went into
Eating
your car.
snacks, yeah.
The second time you had that little tent thing,
Oh yeah,
and then
clam.
you spent like $100 on snacks, and we were like,
Oh yeah.
and then me and Kate,
Convenience store, best
How kind of
prices ever.
snacks cost $100?
well, he's bought so many snacks. He bought so much snacks, and then me and Kay were like, "Jesus, he's spending so much on snacks." And then on the way home, he's like, "You guys want to stop for McDonald's?" And we're like, "No, we do not. We're fine." But then, yeah. So then, basically, apparently, until the podcast came out, I still have not told you that I fell in the hole at the.
I did hear this, but
Yeah.
I did not know that day.
Yeah. So, what would you have actually gotten mad at me if I had told you?
No, why would I get mad at? What are
Yeah,
you gonna
just
He
do?
would have
kidding.
probably tried to help you immediately.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
That's
for
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But those boots, for some
I
reason,
can picture how you
I would have
would.
told you to
Yeah.
buckle
Oh, I
up.
can't
We
tell.
gotta go.
I was like,
Kids are just gonna
I literally was
resolve
like,
experience.
that was like, can you imagine? Like, I was like this one leg away from having both of my
Yeah.
legs falling through and almost
8
dying.
inch hole, you weren't going in that.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that.
true. That's true. I guess. Well, I was quite the skinny kid. No, I'm just kidding. I was not 8 inches
No,
wide.
it's all good. All good.
Yeah.
Safety first. You know what I'm with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Odds.
Uh.
But I did not know that.
Yeah. Then, you ever go ice fishing, Chase?
I have been ice fishing. That's kind of a dirty story, I can tell.
A dirty story?
Yeah,
Well, how dirty is it?
fairly dirty.
Leech Lake.
Okay, well, it is highly likely that your mother will be watching this podcast.
Oh no, not like that.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
care what she hears.
Okay.
I went once when I was in college. There were some people who wanted to go, and this guy had an ice house on the lake, like a nice ice house
Castle.
with like a
Ice
stove
castle.
in it.
Yeah, ice
A fire
castle.
stove, yeah. So we went out there, and people brought their quads and I don't think anyone brought like 4-wheelers, but they were like the 2-wheel drive quads that only the rear wheels spun.
Yeah.
They were all
Okay.
manual driven,
Sure,
everything.
yeah.
So it was super fun. So I can't remember before or after we were all drinking, everything like that, but I got on the back of one, and some guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a wheelie," and he does a wheelie, and I'm trying to hold on to him, but I fell just like flat on the ice on my back.
Oh.
And I was like, I had too much to drink to even really care. But later we went out there, and my car was out there, everything. So that must have been after then if I drove my car out there. But we're in this ice shack with this guy and his significant other at the time, and I was on one of those like fold out things above them with like
Bunk.
chains on it,
Yeah,
with
bunk,
chains on it, yeah.
Sleeper
And it was
shack.
so damn cold in that thing, so cold. They didn't turn the stove on or anything. No, I told that wrong. It was too hot in there. That's why I left. I left and I slept in my car. What happened was it was so hot in there. Apologies for how wrong this story is.
Oh, I
It
do
was
not care.
too damn hot in there. But when I woke up, because it was so hot, I was just profusely sweating above. And I thought there was music playing. So I woke up, sweating my ass off, like dripping sweat. And I'm like, God, what is that noise? There's music playing. Is somebody making noise or something? So I peer over the edge, and there is this guy and his significant other at the time, just doing their business right below me.
Right below you?
In the thing, like 2 feet below me. And I was like, okay, it's too hot in here. I'm not going to deal with listening to these people doing this. So I go to my car. That was
Yeah.
a Honda Civic.
Okay.
Go to my car, and I tried to sleep through the whole night, and I kept waking up in the night. It was so cold that my toes were like, I couldn't feel my feet at all. Like they were frozen, like so cold. I was in my boxers, and I took like one blanket with me or a sleeping bag or something. And I was out there for a long time. And eventually I was like, I gotta go back.
Oh,
They were
no.
done with their stuff, but it was. There's
Was
2
your-
times I've been that
Was
cold.
your car
in the night.
running?
No.
Oh, cheap ass.
There's
Start
2 times. 2 times. I camped once when it was like -7
Let's start
degrees
the car.
outside too, and it was real bad. You think you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're like, oh yeah, the sun's out, it's gonna be warm. You wake up and it's just as cold. It's terrible.
I have a friend who, in his college dorm, he said, I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to expose his college dorm roommates, but he says that his roommate will have sex while he's sleeping in the room, and then, but they're not a bunk and the bunk on top of each other. They're just across from
They're
each
not
other.
like 2 feet away. They're like
Yeah,
5 feet away.
they just got
Oh,
they just got they
That's
just
different. That's
yeah
different.
they just got darkness in between them. So
I
that's
mean,
the
I
only.
don't care what people do, but like when you wake up to something like that, it's a little.
Yeah,
Awkward. I don't
yeah.
want to say
Yeah, it's
awkward, but
awkward. And he knew I looked at him too, because I looked over and I'm blind as a bat, but I looked and he looked up and he was like, "Sorry, dude. What are you gonna do?"
go to your car.
That's what you do. You go to your car, freeze your feet off.
Back in the 60s, we wanted to go deer hunting up by Hinckley, and Grandma's boss at the time had a cabin up there. He said we could use, and he gave directions and stuff. So we thought we'd go up there.
Grandma, your wife, Grandma.
Yeah. And your grandma, my wife.
Mhm.
Anyway,
I have no.
so we packed up, and with my uncle and one of his sons, he drove with me, and his other son drove with him, and we took 2 cars up there, and we drove up there, and we found the cabin. It was there's a road went in, a little dirt road went in, and there was a bridge with logs holding it up, and it looked like I wouldn't drive over the thing with a bicycle, let alone with a car. It looked like it was going to cave in. So we walked over the bridge and looked at the cabin. Well, somebody had ransacked the cabin, and it was filled with mice and everything. The cupboards were all pulled down, door was kicked in, the windows were broken. I said, we're not sleeping in that thing. So we ended up. I don't know why we didn't try the hotel. We're too cheap, but we slept in the car that night. Jack was in the
Real
back
nice.
seat, and my uncle and his son was in the other car. And we put the cars side by side. And I had a sleeping bag, but my cousin's sleeping in the back seat. He just had a blanket covered over him. And it was 15 below that night. And the whole inside of the car, when we woke up in the morning, we'd start the car up every once in a while. We'd roll the window down a little bit. So we did gas each other. We'd run it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, warm it up, and then we'd shut it off and go back to sleep, or try to sleep. And in the morning, the whole inside of the car was white with frost. You couldn't see the speedometer or anything. It was all white. And so then we went out in the woods. I don't know if do you ever experience that where the trees crack like shotgun, like rifle
for sure.
shots going
Yep,
off,
yep.
those aspens or something? It's just amazing. I was, what the hell is that noise? And then somebody said, that's the trees cracking in that cold. And so I was dressed pretty warm. And we went in that woods and we didn't see deer tracks, and there was hardly any deer around there. And pretty soon I found a track, and I started trailing it way back. And there, I got in the middle of the woods, and I thought, where am I? How do I get out of here? And then I remembered the old compass. I had a compass.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself. Everybody kind of split up.
No GPS, no
No
phone.
GPS, no cell
Right.
phone.
this
You know,
shit
all I
they
had was
all
a
got
little bitty
now.
compass. And I also knew that they said don't hold your shotgun by your compass because the arrow will point to the shotgun. You know, so I put the shotgun over by a tree, and I walked away, and I thought, I'm going south. I'm heading south. I know the road is south, so I started, and I grabbed the shotgun, and I walked to the tree, and I said, okay. And then I just followed the directions. I thought, oh, this is getting kind of bad, and I was working up a sweat because I was pulling through snow this deep. Then I all of a sudden went through a bog area, and I started falling through bogs, and I thought, am I ever going to get out of this place or what? And I just kept following the compass. And I finally walked out to the road, and I was 15, 20 feet in front of the car. That's how close I came out of that thing. But there for a while, my uncle said, what are you going to do if you shot a deer back there? He says, build a fire and eat it there. He said, you're going to drag it off that far. But we never saw any deer. But my hands were sweating so much that the gloves were sticking to the shotgun. You know, and if the sweat
Oh,
gun,
yeah.
you had to
Mhm.
peel them off the shotgun, and then the hair would stick to the barrel. Oh, that was a miserable trip. Slept all night in that car, and why we
It's
didn't
not
freeze to
fun
death.
trying to sleep in real
Survive.
cold like that.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
That's how it feels, yeah, like you're trying to survive.
Survival.
But I could have been lost up there, you know, because I had where am I? You know, actually, all of a sudden you look around and where in the hell am I? Yeah, but I knew the road was south, and I had a compass and a pin to my inside thing. But I was dressed with a big parka, and I had insulated underwear on and everything. And I wasn't cold, but it was quite a walk. The good old days.
The good old days?
Good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack almost froze. All he had on was just that blanket on, and I'd wake him up every once in a while. You still alive back there? Jeez. What the heck was it? Must have been my '61 Ford. I think that's the car I had.
What year was it?
I was a '61 Ford, so it's probably 63, 64, something like that.
Wasn't quite born.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Me neither.
3 years from being born. That's close.
What year were you born?
66.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know. You gotta have questions, man.
I had some certain things we could talk about for each of you.
Fishing.
Okay.
Fishing. Well, we were fishing the other day, and you had all sorts of topics you wanted to talk about.
There's not much that you can't talk about fishing. Everything's open game.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to do a fishing. I always said I wanted to do a fishing podcast episode, but that's different than you were just saying. You were listening to the radio, and then the radio would say like something, and then you'd be like, "Oh, that's the problem with America nowadays," or
Oh,
something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
well, it's all about responsibility, whatever. Nobody wants to take claim.
nobody wants to take claim.
Yeah, I left the fan on in the bathroom today, and people, who left the fan? I said, I did. Just doesn't happen nowadays. Wasn't me. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about it. I left the fan on. Big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all screw up all the time. America, want to let you know.
Okay. Words of wisdom.
Well, if you're not first, you're last. No, I don't. Not really words of wisdom, but whatever. There's no really hidden secret out there. Go hard. That's good.
That's a good word of wisdom, or good
Word of
advice.
wisdom. Don't blame everybody for your problems, because there's problems.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Right.
Take responsibility. Have fun.
Yeah.
From there.
That's some good advice.
And we're having fun.
Oh, we're having a lot of fun.
Well, having a lot of fun at this at the cabin this weekend.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what life about. That's what life is all about.
Don't get uptight. There's no time.
What did you say you were gonna do when you got here? Just sit for 2 days.
For 2 days. Well, getting here was a struggle until.
Well, it was not the norm. It was not the norm.
No.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Well, I didn't expect to. If you were to say one thing, I wouldn't expect to see at this cabin trip. It would not be, or it would be you getting acupuncture in your knee.
Yeah.
That is not something I thought I would see.
Oh, well, I never dreamed I'd ever have acupuncture, but it was kind of interesting.
No, I'd be all in.
Yeah.
So, well, how did that feel like?
Well, basically, you really couldn't feel a lot except that one needle went in here, and it felt kind of like getting a low voltage electric shock.
Okay.
That's all I felt.
It hit something.
Yeah, she hit a nerve or something,
Mm.
and she did it in my ear. She had like 5 or 6 in my ear, and I couldn't feel those. All you could feel was, the pushing, but you couldn't feel the needle going in. The needles
Right.
are so thin.
So it's thinner than getting a shot?
No, it's not like getting a shot. You can't. I mean, you
way thinner than getting. That's what I'm
the
saying.
needles are just very like a hair.
Right.
And they go in, and you can't really feel it. I mean, she pushed it in, and she said, "You feel that?" No, I don't feel that. But that one down here, she must have hit something, and it's not a terrible pain. It was just a sensation that I could feel, and that's the only one I really felt. But then afterwards, and I thought, well, I wonder what that's going to do. But
you said something kind of interesting.
Well, before my knee it felt loose, and I had a knee. This knee was acting up a few weeks ago, and my wife has a little bandage thing you pull over, a little brace thing you pull over, and it just tightens everything up, and it just makes the knee feel a little bit more secure. Everything's tight. Well, I didn't bring it along this time because my knees were fine until I got here. But anyway, after I had the treatment, the acupuncture treatment, it felt the same way. Like my knee was tightening up. Everything was tight and solid, and it just a sensation I had. It still bothers me. It's not, but it didn't feel better afterwards. So I don't know.
I think it's because it promotes like when you, what's the word for it? I don't know, but it promotes blood flow to that area.
Yeah.
Like you're letting that area know, like,
Something's
hey, something's going on here.
You better go and protect that area. Yeah.
It tries to deal with that a little more.
Yeah. Would I do it again? Sure, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And
I think that's how it would work better if you were to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
but I don't know.
Well,
I put a lot of wear and tear in my knees in the last 2 months. So,
right.
I always worry about my back, but my back, that was nothing compared to, It started when I started cutting up that wood with the chainsaw, 2 hours of bending over the chainsaw
Mm.
a few times, and then I noticed my knees. It puts pressure on your knees. You don't realize it. And I'm not 29 years old anymore, so
I
just
am,
gotta
and I
face it.
get pain in
Yeah,
my
That's what people.
pain in my back and everywhere.
I have heard people say that to you a lot recently when you're like doing stuff. Like mainly Elena will be like, "Come on, Grandpa, you're not 16 anymore."
yeah, I know.
Like you'll like we're putting away like the.
Well, he always does. He always says, "Well, I'll let you know when I'm tired of doing it." It's like, God damn.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of projects going on, far
Yeah,
more
there
projects,
was.
and
Yeah.
it just caught up with me. I'm paying the penalty for it. But like on the morning that we loaded up, the day before that, I did a lot of stuff, and all day long I was busy lifting stuff and moving stuff around and shoveling out chicken manure and doing all kinds of different things and
You
getting
just
the boat
want to get
ready.
it done. And
I had to get it done.
You can. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
you
had to
don't
get it
think
done.
about
There's, like you said,
repercussions.
go hard.
Yeah,
I
go
I
hard.
went hard. Well,
Went hard so you
you
could
know,
have fun.
well, and
Yeah.
and it did. And I was over at your place, and you're changing the tire. I walked across the yard. Didn't bother me at all. I was in fine shape, and I started carrying stuff in here, and all of a sudden,
It's one click.
one click, and all of a sudden, it felt like lightning going through my knee, and I thought, oh, what's going on here now? So I don't know. I just got to watch it. And I said I'm going to come up here in the first 2 days. I'm just going to sit.
Yeah.
That's basically what I did.
And what have you done the second 2
Well,
days?
I'm trying to walk around. I'm trying to
Oh,
walk it
okay.
off. But, I don't know. We'll see how it works.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, it goes away. I had it. Oh, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. My knee went out on me, and we have an old cane that my brother-in-law and father-in-law used to use to chase pigs. An old wooden cane used to use it to poke the pigs. Well, I saved that from the estate sale, and I had it hanging in the garage, and so that's what I'd walk around with that cane for a few days, and it got me through it, and it went away, and my knee was fine for years. But I don't know. We'll see once. It's like the tendons were stretched. That's what it feels like.
It's all good.
Yeah.
At age 55, I feel your pain as a plumber, but
Yeah. You work hard every day.
well, but you're not going to admit it. I mean, it's like I'm going to act like I'm 18 to 25 and
Till you can't.
till I
anymore.
can't.
Yeah.
Like the song from Cody Johnson. Till you can.
So you can.
Nope. It's all good. But
It's like the song from Pat Benatar,
oh,
the most famous musician of all time.
oh, what? Hit me with your best shot.
Yeah. No, we were just playing this game the other night, and everyone was making fun of me because I don't know who Pat Benatar
Oh,
was.
He had no idea.
Leave a comment. People who are my age, I'd be interested. Leave a comment if you, without Googling it,
They do not
know who Pat
no
Benatar
way
is.
they know who Pat Benatar is.
I'm now
I've
realizing.
never heard of that guy.
Everyone was clowning on me last night for not
It's
knowing
a
who it
lady.
was.
Oh,
Yeah,
But the fact is,
But
you
hit me
know
with your
who
best
she
shot.
is.
I do know, but that's the thing.
You recognize the song, I think.
Yeah. So it was. I thought you guys were actually serious, and then now today, I think I'm realizing you guys were just pulling my leg. Like, yeah. But then so.
She's a very famous.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you heard?
artist.
There was a story where it was like I don't remember what the band was, but it was like some kids were having a party in like a hotel room, and they were playing whatever some band, and like the lead singer from the band walked by, and he's like, "Oh, I like that song," and obviously none of them knew that it was.
Who was it?
I don't know. You'll have to Google it after.
I don't know who
Talia
it was.
Knights did
Yeah.
a lot of Pat Benatar songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Finish
yep,
line.
Yep.
You'd probably know who it was because you know a lot of the actual
If I heard who it
specific
was.
people in specific
Yeah.
bands.
I'd probably know him. But
Yeah, but that's not in my memory range.
I don't even know if I could have, when you were doing that, named a Pat Benatar song. But I know who she is
Yeah,
quite well. But
yeah, no.
Well, you had to be born, you know what I mean?
so is she still active, or is this
No,
I don't
she's
think so.
no.
no
She's big in the 80s.
80s?
That's when I graduated. 85.
Yeah. No, she was very big. Though.
Yeah.
I have
85.
Pat Benatar
Yeah.
records.
Well, that would certainly help to remember
Yeah.
who Pat Benatar is.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time I've heard that name before in my life, but I've obviously heard.
Pat
She
Benatar.
I've probably heard her sing in my life for hours and hours.
Yeah.
Due
Her
to all their
go-to
songs. So I
song
know.
was "Hit Me with Your Best Shot," but
Yeah.
she had a lot of other songs.
There's
Yeah.
one other one we just played today too. I can't remember.
Oh, now we're gonna look down.
Oh,
I don't remember. But
How do you not remember that, Chase?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Old timer's disease.
Freebird.
Who does that?
What do you think? Leonard
Testing
Skinner.
it out.
And
Give me one Led Zeppelin song.
Stairway to Heaven. Really long too.
One Johnny Cash song that's not Folsom Prison Blues or Walking the Line.
Oh my God!
Why are you asking him?
Because I know he knows.
Boy
That's the
named
dumbest thing.
Sue.
Well,
There's
yeah,
like
yeah. Sunday morning coming down.
Sunday
was
morning
one of
coming.
his big
Yeah, there's
ones.
like a million.
That's his exact set of notes. You should have asked
Oh,
me.
I hurt.
Okay.
I hurt myself today to see if I feel pain.
Did he write that? I think he did.
He
right?
did after his wife.
He
died.
didn't write a lot of his songs.
Oh,
though.
well, I get that. You believe? I mean,
Yeah.
that's most people.
All right, give me one other one.
Well, can I? How about this? Can I cash in that I know all the lyrics to Wholesome Prison Blues rather than another
You
song
knew that
title?
when you were
Well,
when you were 5 years
Yeah.
old, didn't you?
That's
Boy
I
named
was
Sue.
well you said Boy Named Sue, that's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
But I know are all the songs you do as lullabies to like Henry and whatever, are those all Johnny Cash or are those
No. I do some
Yes,
Christmas stuff. Yeah,
Oh, he has.
Hank
Johnny
Williams.
Cash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jim Reeves.
There's
There's
a
so
lot
many
of-
songs.
I know,
But you
I
know-
can't think of any off the top of my head.
There's so damn many.
Yeah, but you say Johnny Cash song, like Sunday Morning Coming Down. Well, Chris Christopherson wrote that, but
Right.
you know a lot of those
Oh,
songs are
really?
written by-
Oh yeah.
you know,
All these songs, these
yeah.
people sing them, but
Yeah.
they're not.
Some of them wrote their own.
Probably about a third.
Hank Williams wrote not all of his, but most of his.
Well,
Junior-
Johnny Cash did write
Oh,
some
he
of
wrote
his own,
songs.
but-
Yeah.
Right,
he wrote
but-
songs. You know, he recorded a lot of songs. I don't know, thousands of songs, I would think. But I wasn't aware of this until a few years ago. But he was really studied music. I mean, he really was a walking encyclopedia of music. His daughter was talking about how he would sit her down and say, "You got to know all these songs." You know, and he'd go through the whole litany of songs, not his songs, but all songs.
Right.
And he really loved all kinds of different music. You know, he recorded with Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
and he recorded some of Bob Dylan's songs. So he was quite a character. But, so I was in country. I've been stuck in the country music genre for all my life practically. But
Who was that guy who wrote that song on the plane?
that was Hank Williams,
Hank
and
Williams,
Hank Williams had. They once asked him how he could write songs like that, and he said God just sends it through his fingers, and he just puts it down on paper. He was traveling with little Jimmy Dickens. I'm not sure. I heard once it
Junior or
was
senior?
little Jimmy Dickens.
But I mean.
Oh, Hank Williams
Williams.
Senior.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
how
Hank
you know.
Williams. That's the real Hank Williams.
Junior is like
No,
kinda
he's way
cranked
out
up
there,
on
yeah,
some
yeah,
drugs
yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
point that out.
But he was
due
writing
respect.
now. Once I heard it on a plane, and once I heard that they were in a car. But he said to him, Jimmy, he said, you need a hit song. And Jimmy said, tell me about it. And he said, here, I'll write you a song. And what's her name? The country western with the hat, with the price tag. And Minnie Pearl was sitting there, and she got a piece of paper and a pencil, and handed it to Hank, and he started writing. And he wrote out a song, and he wrote, "Hey, good looking." Wrote it out, one line, right off to it, handed it to him. Here, he said, record that. He said, that'll be a hit. Well, Jimmy said, by the time I got in the studio to record it, Hank had recorded it already. It was off playing all over the country. And it was another big hit of his. He could just write a song just off the drop of his hat. He was driving home with his mother one day. He was sleeping in the back seat of the car. And she said, Hank, wake up. She said, and there was a light on the airport terminal. They had a little airport there with one of those beacons. And she said, I can see the light. Meaning that they were coming home in the middle of the night. So he goes home the next day and he starts writing the song, I See the Light. I see the light. And he wrote this big popular song. He could just, I don't know, you're born with that kind of talent.
For sure.
You just could write songs like.
That reminds me of how when Paul McCartney said you know how when Paul McCartney or the Beatles have "Let It Be," it says Mother
Mm-hmm.
Mary. I always thought my entire life that was talking about like Jesus's mom, but
Mm-hmm.
his mom is named Mary
Yeah.
because he said that after his mom died, then in like literally in a dream, like it says in the song,
Mm-hmm.
then his mom's like he was like Paul McCartney was like stressing in his dream, and then his mom was in his dream and said "Let It Be." That's how the song was written.
Yeah, well, Chris Christopherson was like that when he was younger too. I mean, he worked in Columbia Studios in Nashville, and he just worked there as a janitor, and he wanted to get to know these singers and stuff, and he was also a helicopter pilot, and he was flying helicopter down in Louisiana or someplace down in the Gulf Coast, and he was flying workers out to the drilling rigs and back, so he had a lot of downtime, and he would sit there and he'd write songs. But he finally, when he was working in Columbia studios, someone introduced him, said, you ought to take a look at this guy. He's got some pretty interesting songs. So the guy brought him in the office, and his theory was that anybody can write a good song once.
Hmm.
Writing two is pretty tough to do. Writing three is impossible, almost. Well, he brought Chris Christopherson in there, and he said, can you write me one good song, or write four good songs.
Hmm.
And he said he wrote four good songs. He came in and he said he started singing them to him. And he said by the time he was on his third song, he said, I thought I was hallucinating. He said, nobody can write four good songs like that in a row. He said, it was just unbelievable. But he just had he was just very talented. And just, Willie Nelson wrote a lot of songs.
Hmm.
He wrote Hello Walls.
Mm-hmm.
Willie had no money at all. And he wrote another song. I can't remember what the name of it was, and he sold it to somebody for $500. And the song hit #1, and the guy made tens of thousands of dollars off the
Hmm.
thing. And Willie had his $500. Well, he wrote Hello Walls, and he was going to sell it to Fair and Young. And Fair and Young said, "No, Willie." He said, "I'll tell you what I'll do." He said, "I'll loan you the $500. You keep your name on the song." He said, "And you can pay me back if the song hits the thing." Well, he was down at this little place in Nashville, and he was demonstrating. He was singing it to guys in this little restaurant, and they were all making fun of it. They were saying, "Oh, hello, Windows, hello." They were making fun of it. Well, Fair and Young thought it was a good song and recorded it, and so the first royalty check came in, and it was for $14,000. So Willie runs down to, I can't remember the name of this place, and Farron Young is there, and he ran up to him and he gave him a big kiss right on the mouth. And Farron said, "It's the best kiss I've ever had in my life." But just and then Willie wrote a lot of songs after that, Crazy and all kinds of different songs.
It's still the same way today. Like you gotta have a good hook, a good
Yeah.
chorus, like all the same.
You got to have the
Same
chorus.
criteria.
Well, we've got someone in this room who's written songs.
Yeah.
Chase,
Yeah, but
what's your process?
I write them most of the time before making the music.
Okay.
A lot of people they'll write the chords and then they'll try to write
Yeah.
something to the
A
chords.
lot of people
Right.
do the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know,
Well, I think it might be especially for like rap, I'd say it's easier to, maybe it's different because of the genre of music you do. Maybe.
yeah, I think with rap, it's a lot more beat driven.
Right.
Like people write the beat or the tune or the melody or whatever it may
Hmm.
be, but I write it more like poetry
Hmm.
and then change it 50 million times. But
Right.
the hardest thing, like it's easy to write verses, it's easy to rhyme verses, but when you got to think of something like what you're talking about, the hook
Yeah.
or the chorus or
The
something
chorus.
that captivates a person, that's what's hard.
If you could write a chorus that people can sing along to,
Yeah,
like
That's
memorable
true.
and
Kenny
Like
Rogers,
a catchy song.
yeah,
like
that's the hardest part.
it's tough, but that's the way I judge a song is if people can sing along with it.
And they don't forget it.
Yeah, they don't forget.
Like, hey, good looking. Hey, good looking.
What
What
you
you got cooking? Yeah, it's easy to remember.
And
Even if you haven't heard it in 20 years, you know that song.
well, like me and Bobby McGee. I mean, here's the challenge that guys, the songwriters challenge. The Chris Christopherson's boss, I don't know what his title was, music producer or whatever, but they had a secretary working in one of the offices. Her name was Bobby McKee, and the guy misunderstood the the, the McKee part, and he told Chris Christopherson, he said, "Hey, I got a good title for a song."
Hmm.
He said, "This is a good title, Me and Bobby McGee," he said.
Mm.
And Chris says, "What am I supposed to do with that?" He said, "Well, that's a title." He said, "Just write the song." Well, what the hell are you going to do? What do you write a song about? Me and Bobby McGee.
Hmm.
So he had a movie in his mind starring Anthony Quinn, and he had a scene at the end of the movie where Anthony Quinn abandons his lover and does something. I don't know. And he's on the sea later on, and he's tormented by what he had done, and lost this lover and stuff. And Christopherson put that into this song, busted flat in Baton Rouge, and he was caught in a rainstorm at one time, and all these little pieces of stuff fall in, and how these guys think, I don't understand, but that's the way they think. And came back, and it was really a good song. And then of course, what's her name? Recorded it, and it became just a blockbuster song for him. But Janis Joplin,
Yep.
when she just tore it loose, and just
See, for me, if you gave me a one line or one topic, I could write a song, but I couldn't promise that the chorus or the hook could be good, but I could write verses for days. Like I could rhyme stuff, come
Yeah.
up with a story that.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
But that's not what captivates people. You gotta have something catchy that.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
I can I could I can rhyme stuff, but I feel like that skill does not at all cross over to actually being able
Elena,
to write.
my sister Elena, I don't know if you've read any of her poetry, but I think she has a gift for doing that, and that I would say is what I'm also
hey,
able to do.
your sister wrote a little thing about me one time. I don't know if it was for a class project or what, but it blew my mind. She
Hmm.
just described me walking out of the woods with a
Oh yeah, I
chainsaw or
remember that.
something.
She's very good,
And I
and she
looked at
doesn't
that and I
share it
thought,
with anyone, and it's
yeah,
like, good God,
yeah.
like,
I thought, holy cow. I mean, it's classic
mm,
literature, describing, like when
yeah,
John Steinbeck when he wrote about, he described the guy's fingers were the size of like sausages and stuff, and just little bits and pieces that, well, Christopherson does the same thing with, when take the ribbon from your hair, shake it loose and let
mm.
it fall, lying soft against my skin, like the shadow on the
People
wall.
know people don't just think of
Yeah,
things like
oh, yeah,
that. You gotta,
Yeah.
yeah.
just like the shadow on the wall. I mean, so you can get the idea how soft that hair was lying on the skin.
There's a song that I don't remember who wrote it, but talks about like the shadows of the picture frames that are not shadows, but like where dust didn't settle when you remove a picture frame,
Oh,
something like that. And it's like, good God, how do you think of something like that?
yeah, yeah. It's,
But
well,
she's good at that. She,
Hank
yeah,
Williams wrote that song about being alone and did you hear the Lonesome Whippoorwill? That
no, I
little
know
song.
that song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's just the saddest damn song. But he's got all these, the moon hides behind the
Mm-hmm.
cloud, sheds a tear, and all this stuff. And
Yep.
and he's waiting. His lover is out there, and he's waiting for her, and I'm so lonesome I could cry, and it just tears your heart out because you know all these things.
You relate to
I
it
agree.
Yeah,
because
you
it's
relate to that
yourself.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's what I look for when I listen to music a
yeah,
lot, which is not so common now, but
yeah. Well, now
it's hard
we're
to.
listening today. It's all 3 or 4 or 5 words, and then they just keep repeating it over and over again.
Yeah.
And it seems like all the people are looking for now is just the beat, the music, boom, 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 and
Hmm.
they're not listening to the
It's
words at all.
something different that
Yeah,
captivates
Yeah.
people than.
you can't even hear the words. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of times the music is so loud you can't even hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
And
That's like one. Yeah. If you ask a lot of people how a song goes that's popular now, they're just gonna
Well, you were
do the beat
playing.
of it or whatever. They don't know the actual lyrics.
You were playing "Pissing in the Wind," and like that's a
Jerry
catchy
Jeff, Jerry
song
Jeff
because
Walker.
of what it is. Like you're not gonna forget that, you
No,
know.
yeah, Jerry
Yeah,
Jeff
It's a
Walker.
that's
good
all.
song, but people don't
L.A.
do that.
Freeway. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the one that I just played it the other day out on the deck out there. It was God but a shoemaker. And it's the nicest thing. He's describing this shoemaker, how he can feel your feet, and he makes you a pair of shoes that you'll never buy a store-bought pair because they fit so well. And he wrote that song too. And it's based on a real guy.
Not the Johnny Cash one.
No,
Low, shoot, move on, never get low down. Not that.
no. This was a shoemaker. He made shoes, boots. You know. But yeah.
Yeah, I like stories. Like
Yeah.
that one we sang earlier. The last one we did is very much a story. And I like that. But
Marty Robinson, his big stories, he wrote those big long stories down, and they didn't think the radio stations would play them because they were 4.5, 5 minutes long. Turns out that the DJs loved it because they could play that, and they could run off to go to the bathroom.
those aren't as catchy though. But
No.
but people want to listen to them for other reasons. Yeah.
Like longer songs. Or,
Well, just something that tells a story. Rather than like, oh, I'm looking for this hook that really captivates me. It makes me want to dance or it makes me want to feel this way.
Yeah.
It's more like a
That's
story gives me chills kind of thing.
That's just your guys' taste in music, though.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Well, sure, everybody's got different tastes. I can't understand why people listen to rap, but that's just me.
Yeah. It's all
me-
just art.
To me,
it's
it's,
preference, a matter of preference.
Yeah, but I hate when people are like, rap is not actually music. It's like,
I would never say that.
yeah.
It's
No,
not-
I know you're not saying that, but I'm like, it's like,
Yeah.
well, some people just like
Yeah.
that, and some people don't like. It's like all.
It's like looking at a painting. Like
Right.
if you don't think if it's not appealing to you, it's just it's art. Like you can't really choose
Well,
what people
yeah.
like.
people go gaga over Picasso, but I kind of think Picasso was playing games with people's minds. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see it.
But there's some people who they'll throw like one piece of hair on a 20-foot canvas and
well, there's one
they'll
I think,
make
and
millions
I
of
read
dollars
this.
from it.
I read this one place. There's a big painting. There's a whole wall, and there's a black spot on the corner, and people stand in front of that for hours looking at that thing. And I'm thinking, why?
That's
it's
son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I think
Just put this black dot.
I think
It's
someone-
making millions
Someone
of dollars.
went, someone went to a museum, I think. I don't remember what it was. I think it might have been like the glasses or just some random item they had. And there was like an empty podium, and they just set it on the podium, and then like people like they walked away and watched, and people were like looking at it like for so long, like because I thought it was some like an art
Yeah.
exhibit.
Yeah.
Or what was the other? Like I think there's like a Mr. Beast video where he bought a painting that was like $10,000, and then on this big canvas, and then he bought 3 canvases of the same size and had his friends just randomly do shit on the.
And nobody knew that.
And they said if you can guess which painting is the $10,000 one, you can keep it and we'll buy it from you for $10,000. And they were like, it's this one. And they were like, nope. And it was the last one they guessed was the $10,000 one.
I had a friend who went to art school, and he tried to make a point for his final project that he did. He had to get up and tell the story of his project, and he got up there, and I think he told the honest story of what he did, and it was to prove the point that what he did had absolutely no meaning.
Mm-hmm.
He did that to prove that point.
Mm-hmm.
He made these couple strokes this way, and it wasn't anything fancy, but it looked cool,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote cool, and it was just to prove the point that no, he developed a story for it. That's what it was.
Okay.
He developed a story
And then
to,
at the
to
end,
prove that if you made a story about your painting, it didn't have anything to do with the painting. It was the story that you told. But
Okay.
the story was bullshit.
that's funny because that's what I took an art class this year, or like a drawing. I don't know what it was, like 2D design or whatever. And my least favorite days were when you'd have to show your painting and like explain it, and like they'd ask you questions, and I just like everyone is like, "Wow, it's really fascinating," and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, bullshit." You did it. And then it's like, whatever. That was around always my least favorite. And people ask me these questions, I'm like, I don't know, man. I just thought it looked cool to do that. But
yeah, the funny thing was, he quit art school after that, and he had nothing to do with it since.
Yeah,
Because of that.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He climbs now. He does training and stuff, makes good money, and enjoys what he does, but it has nothing to do with that because he thought that was foolish. That's what people kind of like American Idol. How now it's all based on everybody's story. I'm not saying these people's stories are
Oh yeah, that's
not great
fair.
to listen to, but like it's all so based on the story rather than they're talented people. But
Yeah, well, I'd say almost pretty much everyone who makes it to the American Idol show has got some
they don't
talent.
even do the bad people anymore. They
What do
don't
you mean by
air
that?
that.
No, no, no. But I mean, like, oh yeah, they used to do like the pants on the ground guy and
Yeah,
shit
they
like
don't
that.
do any of that. It's
But like,
all
I'm saying anyone who makes it to the show must be talented in some way. They could if they have the right song, they could make it
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
Doesn't I don't know what the whole point of winning is. I guess they what
Yeah.
do you get for winning? Do you get like
A lot of contracts, and it has screwed a lot of people over. I know there's a lot of people who performed to make
yeah
money, like small shows or things like that, that they can no longer do because they've signed contracts. Jeff's falling asleep over here.
Almost.
yeah? Well,
They've
someone
signed contracts. I just read an article about
okay
some woman who she had a lot of gigs, and because she did American Idol, they would no longer allow her to do her small gigs. And
mm,
she didn't make it big, but because she had done so well in American Idol, first, second, third, whatever place it was, she could no longer do those gigs, and it kind of
Ruined her
destroyed
career,
her.
huh?
Yeah, it kind
yeah
of destroyed her source of
Well, I
income,
haven't
and
watched American Idol since Carrie Underwood won. That's it.
that was a
So
while ago.
that was a
A
while
long
ago.
time ago.
Yeah, it was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
what season was that? Like season
I
The
don't know.
first
because
Season
Kelly
three or
Clarkson was
four.
one,
Not
right?
the first. Kelly
Pretty
Clarkson was
close.
first. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Kelly
pretty early
Clarkson.
on.
Probably
It might have
three
been
or
Yeah,
four. I
second.
betcha.
I think it was
second
the
or
second.
third.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really, really
That's
she
close.
won against Bo something.
Oh
I
yeah, I
don't know.
remember.
That
Yeah.
long
well,
hair
that's to
dude.
show
Yeah.
you that if you win American Idol, you should just have to start a talk show instead, like Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah. Well, Carrie Underwood is doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say is,
She's a
Not
pretty
bad.
we had
No,
this
great artist, though. Yeah.
we had this final in my political science class. We had this final where you just had to write an essay and argue a point. It didn't matter if your point was like good or not. You just had to is how well you argued it. And literally, the guy next to me, he's kind of a goofy dude who just like would like raise his hand and say stupid shit during the class. He wrote his entire paper on why politics is stupid.
I could relate to
Yeah, and then he got I think he got like a 90%.
that. Yeah, good.
But I don't know. That teacher was weird.
Hate politics.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Very important thing, but I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's pretty much a wrong side to every political argument in my eyes. There's like people who say this, it's like, but what about that? You know what I mean?
This group, for
Not to
sure.
get too political or anything.
Right.
What'd you
But
say?
I mean, just with this group, yeah, for sure. Different views.
Yeah.
Different views, yeah.
You
But
have to avoid it with certain people,
yeah,
for sure.
that's why I just don't talk about it on the podcast because I don't want to piss people off who
Yeah.
are
No.
on the other side.
No point.
Yeah, no
There you
point in
go.
talking.
No.
But yeah, and some people are like, "Oh, I love
Blow
political
your toe.
debates." It's like, oh, cringe in my eyes.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say to you one time on the podcast we were talking about how um, it was if everybody on the who has ever been on the podcast, which is like at this point like 90 something people, were on like a Hunger Games style island,
Mm-hmm.
who would be the last to survive? And my mom, I forgot to say like you at the time, and my mom said that she thinks you would win, or like
Me,
you would. Yes, she thinks that you would win. Yes.
I would maybe take Jeff
There's
over
water.
me.
There was
Well, Jeff,
water.
Jeff
there was
now.
water, I'd win. If I could
Yeah.
fish. That's all I could tell
Water
you.
and fish.
I'd
Yeah.
be gaining weight. They go, oh, I'm fishing. I'm
Yeah.
gaining weight.
You'd be
Yeah.
like, you ever watch Lost?
Oh yeah,
You know Hugo, Hurley.
yeah.
That guy, he was gaining weight throughout the show, which didn't make any sense. But
But that would
Yeah, on
happen.
that show
If I had a fishing line, whatever,
why would your mother say me?
I don't know. Like I think
fire.
I think
mean, I'm
she's
resourceful,
she's
but-
meaning more of like the fighting stuff. I don't know why she thinks like
Well, are you talking like we're on the show of Survivor, or
no
like...
no Hunger like a fight to the death like a battle royale. No,
Okay,
yeah, she's saying like if like in fight like if we were all to have a big battle
I'm a
royale.
lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's like, what about Chase? I'm like, well, I had friends who were in like Boy Scouts and stuff, so they'd probably be good at surviving. But I don't know if they'd beat Chase in a fight.
I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot, but I don't know that
Yeah.
that would get me through.
My agent really dirty. That's all I can say.
I don't know that I want
It's
to
not
play
about-
against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
I don't
he
know
had
how to play against
dirty
you
shit.
either.
At the time of this
Oh, I got a
conversation,
bad- I got a
he and
bad
him hadn't
beat
been on the
now.
phone.
Number-
I'd take you now, but
Number 8 of 9 kids. I have
Yeah,
some
that's
tricks.
right.
That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
When
I
you
don't know.
You
think
gotta
you
fight
have
to
could you
survive.
could you look me in the eyes? Like it's down to we meet each other in this island or whatever. Is it an
Right.
island?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we meet each other.
Well, it's a
Could you
TV
kill
show.
me?
I don't have to kill you. It's gonna beat you.
No, you gotta kill me.
Yeah.
This is to the
It's
death.
Hunger Games. Hunger Games.
Last to win.
Well, not
Save your life.
fairy tale shit you guys watch. But I mean,
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
real world, you're not doing any of this shit.
I
It's
think
like,
I think I'd probably try to work it out with you for a bit and see what else we could do, and then we'd
we'll
cross that bridge
handshake,
when we
we'll
get
You
there.
do
cross
the-
bridge here. Oh,
You
yeah,
do
wait.
the you do like the Hunger Games, like you'd have the poison berries, and you say we're both gonna eat them at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh God, not that.
No, you just do rock paper scissors, and whoever loses kills the other person. Of course,
Jeff and I are too busy to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, I
right,
don't
Jeff?
have time to worry about this shit. But
Jeff, when you do rock paper scissors, do you rock paper scissors shoot or rock paper scissors, and then you
Oh,
go
yeah.
on scissors?
don't talk about it.
You don't, you don't know.
I just win. We'll see.
So if we were to do rock paper scissors right now, and we go, or would you go?
You'll know.
That's not an
All
answer to
right,
the question.
do it against him.
Here we
Do it
go.
against
Here we
him.
go. Cover. You're done.
I guess
You
I
told me
lost.
what you were gonna do. Jesus Christ! I mean, every time I'm gonna do
That-
paper, when you're gonna do scissors, because it covers it.
I didn't say what do you do scissors paper rock. I'm saying do you go rock paper scissors shoot or rock paper scissors.
Well, all I know,
I don't
is
know what I did.
this covers scissors, and I win.
You're not
So-
answering my question at all. But
Well, that's why you can't never let people know what you're gonna do.
you still not, I don't care about if you do rock paper or scissors. I'm saying do you go rock paper scissors shoot or do you go rock paper scissors?
Doesn't matter. What does it matter?
Okay, because I guess it doesn't matter to you. Because me and Sheila were doing rock paper scissors yesterday,
Okay.
and then she's like, I was like,
I gotta do
rock
both.
paper scissors shoot or rock paper scissors, and then she's like, well, who goes on shoots? Well, all my friends go rock paper scissors shoots, and then I'm finding out that you do rock paper scissors.
I
go
don't
shoot.
do any.
I
rock,
just-
paper,
You don't do
scissors.
shit.
I just-
I've never
I
done it
just
in my
played.
life.
I just played a
What do
win.
you mean you don't do rock paper scissors?
I
shoot?
have never done it in my life.
I just played a win.
I don't understand.
When you
I've
said
never-
scissors,
Whatever you
I-
tell me I'm gonna do, that's what I'll go on.
No, I
and
just
I'll
go.
win.
No,
And I won't
why do you do
apologize.
something like that?
Why do you do rock paper scissors?
Yeah.
To have a very quick, like if it's
Decision.
someone needs to do something, who has to do it or who gets their
I
way.
usually figure out that either
Yeah.
somebody's going to do it or I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't go through
Yeah.
rocks, paper,
That's why his
scissors.
knees all fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
Mine
just
too,
does
because
but
you just do
whatever.
it.
I've never done it in my life.
No.
You've never done rock
Never
paper
done
scissors.
it in my life.
No.
Nope, I don't.
What the hell?
You should do it first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, your first ever
Yeah,
game.
I've never
remember
do
what he's gonna do? He's gonna do scissors, do paper, cover it.
Well,
or
paper
rock.
does not cover scissors.
I don't know. I just do it myself usually. You know, that's just the way.
I'm not gonna waste
Okay.
the time
I'm
playing
not
this
going to waste
game.
time
this
playing
game.
games. Let's get her done.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, that's you and I are different people then. 'Cause-
Well, that,
Oh,
that's
for sure.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
It's
But
the
I
time
don't,
frame.
I don't see the purpose of it. I mean, I
2020.
just, you know, we got a job to do. Who's going to do it? Well, if you're not going to do it, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. I'll
Okay,
do
how
it.
about this? Okay, it's like you're playing some sort of yard game, and you're like, okay, who goes first? So, but neither of you really care, and it's like,
You
okay,
flip a coin.
huh? Then you flip a coin.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
Arm wrestle.
I don't run into a situation
arm
where
wrestle.
Headbutt.
I had to do coin flips. I just decide who
Yeah.
wants to do it. You don't.
Sink or swim.
You go ahead. I'll be second. Or somebody said, well, you go ahead. And then I don't know. It just never came to the point where we had to flip a coin. I don't play that many yard games. The only time I really play games is up here.
Yeah, well, same.
I don't play many games.
Mm,
I have too many other things going on if we playing games.
okay.
It's just-
Swamped.
Man can cut a tree down though.
That's true.
Yeah.
I did not I witnessed that happen once, but I didn't witness that happen this summer yet. Or
and we cut up a lot
Where
of
the
wood.
hell
this
have you
summer.
been? We've been chopping trees all
you
summer.
started doing that when I was at school, I think, and then, or no, that's not true because the
Just
camp
cut
happened
down
after school.
some really big
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
What have I been doing?
Playing rock, scissors.
Playing rock paper scissors. I was in the rock paper scissors tournament,
He's been at
2022.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff going on, Lucas. I don't have time for that stuff.
I was just asking because it's just a simple, oh, do you do this or do you do this? Do you go shoot or not? And most people I know say rock paper scissors shoot, but I'm finding out that everyone in my family does this.
This is the first time I ever heard shoot as being one of the options. I
Okay,
always
so
said
this,
rock, scissors, paper.
It's a matter
well,
of
it's not.
if you
It's
do
shoot isn't an option. It's you
Well,
go ba 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 or ba ba ba.
2 or 3 before you do it is
Oh.
the question.
It was just a simple question, but then you
I
now
just
Not
do whatever
simple.
I'm told prior.
Not simple.
I was-
no.
see. What I thought that conversation was gonna go is, oh, I go rock paper scissors. But you now are saying you've never once played rock paper scissors, and he's saying, oh, I do paper.
Doesn't matter. Just gotta win.
Well,
I
everybody's
do whatever
different, but
someone
I,
you
I'm
go up
telling
to
you the
and
truth. I've
win.
never done it, and I've never really paid much attention to it, and I've watched people do it, and I still don't understand what wins, which decision wins. And,
What-
you know, I never look.
Rock
You don't know what wins in rock paper scissors?
rock beats scissors because it crushes the scissors.
Yeah.
Scissors beats paper because it cuts the paper.
Well, why don't somebody just take a rock every time?
Because paper
Because
covers rock.
Paper covers rock.
Yeah,
They all beat each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but doesn't really matter.
yeah, that's
No.
just
Yeah.
to me a waste of time.
The other thing that
Get her done.
that sort of reminds me of when
This is proof of that right here.
Yeah.
Well,
The explanation.
Well,
You know, most of the time when I'm doing something, I'm by myself.
right. Okay, that's
I don't have anybody to play the game with. You know, and isn't it?
You don't do that against grandma?
No.
So grandma's
Oh,
like,
for
what's
sure.
something that what's a job? You guys, I guess, have it all pretty figured out. You guys have the jobs at the house split,
Right.
and you guys each do
Right.
one thing.
Yeah,
There's not.
we do our things, and I don't sit there and argue with her. What
Okay.
do? What am I going to do? I just do what I have to do. She does what she does, and
Is there a food that you both like to eat?
we like pretty much. Yeah, we're on the same page with
Okay.
most.
What's like a
all our
food?
life
What's a
we
food
do.
that's in your house right now?
Well, we've got. What do you mean?
I just need one food of any kind.
Oh,
Like a
one food
meal
right
or
now.
Like a one item.
What
Like,
item?
like, let's say
we
there's-
have sausage.
okay, so let's say there's you guys are both eating, you guys are sharing, and then you guys look and they're like, oh, is there any sausage left in the on the pan or what do you put sausage in? What do you say?
We
A pot?
do it now and then.
pan, oven.
Oh,
yeah,
air
oven,
fryer.
Air
Air
fryer.
fryer.
Doesn't
There's
matter.
one piece
Well-
of sausage left in the air fryer, and you both are a little hungry. So how do you decide who gets the sausage?
I'll say, do you want half of this, or do you want to share it, or
Got you there.
He does got me there. He's got me. There's so
Well,
you're
we
proving to me
share.
that there's no situation in life that you need to do rock paper scissors in.
No.
no?
Okay. Well, sometimes it's just fun
Well,
too.
now there's significant other. I mean, I'm just gonna give it to her because I
you
don't-
ask her, and I bet you she wouldn't. She'd have the same
She's-
answer as
well,
I have.
for
She'd
sure.
never
Yeah.
had a
Grandma,
child.
yeah, but
It's not-
grandma would always be
It's
like, well, I
not a
don't care.
contest, not whatever. It's
Yeah.
just like I'm gonna give whatever.
Yeah,
I gave
yeah.
my last piece of chocolate, and I love chocolate,
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah.
care
Yeah.
because at that
We
point,
don't do that either. But Cole and Shay, I think, do that a lot.
right? But I mean,
Rock
I don't
paper
have
scissors.
time. I don't keep score. It's
No,
just like,
no.
and you
It's
know what
not
I
a-
mean.
You're
You
not
don't,
trying to win anything.
but
it's
you
just-
don't keep score. It's just
no,
like
no.
there's compromise. There
Right,
always will be.
always
I
compromise.
mean, my God, could we be any more different? I mean, in my situations in life, but it's not like I'm trying to beat who I'm with.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I
It's
guess.
just different. But I mean, you all day long. You all day long.
Yeah.
Cole and
Another dude all day long.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat me.
This is a
But
good example.
I'm just saying, who I'm with
Go ahead. Give
will
yours.
always be ahead.
Cole and Shay with their dog.
Oh yeah, it's
when
like
they
a child.
both don't want to take the dog out,
Oh my God, don't even
and they
go
don't know who did it last, then they do something like rock paper scissors.
there.
But this is where
It
Grandpa goes, yeah, I'll just do
irritates
it.
the
I'll just do
living
it, yeah.
shit out of me because it's like you guys can play.
So
your
you just do it then.
Goddamn right I do. I don't give two shits. You two consider and argue about it. I'm
But
gonna.
rock paper scissors is a one. It's lasts
I'm gonna
3 seconds
change, I'm
long.
gonna change the kid's diaper. I'm gonna take the dog outside because I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't want to
You
be
just wanna
involved.
do
In,
it.
it's not.
Get it
Yeah,
done.
it's
Yeah,
needs to be done, and you're wired the same.
Yeah.
We're just wired different.
So what if you did it
I don't care.
50
100 times
times in a row?
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
My kid needed it or my dog needed it. Doesn't matter.
That's fair.
But I mean, that's how I'm
I
wired.
get that.
That's how it was beating my head.
To me, that
Or
makes a
open the
marriage
door.
work. You know, and I'll like you say, the sausage. I'll ask her first if you want. Go ahead, because I can eat something else. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to argue over a piece of sausage or play games over a piece of sausage.
Right.
It's not worth it. Here it is. We can share it or we can whatever. So that's just the way we operate.
Right, but it's
You know.
just how you're wired and how you were taught. But
You know.
So you choose to give rather than
Right.
receive.
have a debate or receive.
For
or
sure.
I
whatever
kind of
other
look at
option
her.
there
I look at her point of view.
Right.
if we got a chore to do and I look at her point of view and I try to make it as easy as I can for her, and I'd rather do it myself. And the same way when you guys are out there, if I got a job to do and if I can do it myself, I'll do it myself. I won't ask you to do it. And if I can't, if I need help, then I can ask it. But I'd rather try to figure out a way to do it myself.
For sure.
I just.
But that's how we were
Yeah,
brought up.
we
It's
were
just
brought up.
different.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
you guys watch Barney and all this shit where they all help
No,
you out.
I would say
I don't want to say coddle, but stick the nook in there and do what you guys gotta do. But we're just
I
not
would
worried.
say at
Like,
some point, I would say I lean more towards doing that. But at some point in your life, you have to learn how to be able to ask for help,
well,
no matter who you are. And then what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, well, I
when
mean,
when it's my last breath and I've been under for like this long, then I will. But that's just me. But I'm wired. I'm not wired right.
I may have to ask for help to load this thing.
Well, that's
up.
what I'm saying.
Right, but I mean,
That's I guess that is true though.
Get that, but
Yeah.
we're just wired different. But doesn't mean we're wired right. That's just how we're wired.
Yeah,
It's not right, but
Yeah.
I have a hard time asking for help. When my
Yeah.
back hurts so bad and I can't even twitching because the nerves are burning.
But there's a
I'm not
point
gonna
where
ask-
then you do, and then you start to wonder,
Well,
maybe if I asked for help prior, would
Make
that
sure
have
to-
not
no.
put me where I currently am?
No.
Or do you not care about that?
I don't believe in that. No,
No.
go hard, and go
Till
as
you-
long as you can. Till you
When-
can't. It's like that Corey
when
Johnson song.
Michaela's
Till you
wiping
can't.
your ass.
That's it. No, thank
Fuck,
you.
I wish I would have asked her for some help.
I'm a plumber. I'll get a bidet.
Those are great.
and
So,
hook it up yourself.
yep. No
Those are
worries.
great.
But
No.
whatever. I'm
I
just.
mean, that's just
It's just.
that's the way we are. It's just the way we're
But-
brought up. And
It's from our generation down that it was like you do not ask for help, but you guys are like coddled and whatnot. It's like help.
Hey,
No, it's all good. You guys are good people.
I help as much as I can.
I'm not. I'm just giving you shit. But we were like, no way am I asking you to help me cut my grass or do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like asking for help.
No.
either. I don't like it at all.
but we do know. I mean,
You have to at some
yeah,
point.
yeah. I just.
I figure I'm gonna about in my 80s, but I don't know.
Yeah, right.
You'll get there.
Yeah, just keep.
And then
going.
you'll
Yeah,
think
I'm a
back to
smart
this
ass.
podcast.
Wake up
and
every
be
day
like,
and you'll get.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And people will show you this this podcast where you're saying you don't need any help with anything.
Oh my God.
I'll be going.
You're like, damn it!
Well,
He'll be going, I
but,
believe
you
that
know,
No, I'm gonna go.
I changed my mind.
No, I'm not gonna change mine.
we did get a lot of help from all you guys all summer long, and but we needed it. I mean, there's way too much for one person to do.
Oh, you got it.
And getting ready for the camp out and getting ready for the thing the other day, and we had a lot of help with the tree project. I mean,
Well, you got to realize that people want to help.
I know,
too.
and I really like it, and I kind of like everybody coming out and all working together, and it really is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much stuff you can get done when you got people that work together like that. Look, putting this party on and stuff. You get those girls wound up and they can organize stuff in a hurry. And we had a lot of stuff got done this summer, and there's more than I could ever do. And it was really great because I know how much work it was, and I know how hard they all worked, and we had fun. It was kind of enjoyable. That bridge project was a monumental undertaking, but it turned out really nice, and we had a lot of help from a lot of different people, and without that help, we could have never got it done.
That's kind of what I was saying is like, you're saying do it on your own. I just wanted to get it done.
What? Can I tell you what the difference is? It's age 55 versus.
No, I
your
get
age.
it.
I mean, when I'm your age, I'm going to say the same thing. I will.
Yeah.
I
Well,
get it, but
I mean-
when you see something like that happen and something come together that you could have very well done yourself, it just at some point doesn't make sense to do yourself.
Well, I
you
get
know?
that, but I just mean it's just different
Yeah.
frames.
But I
We're both wired the
Yeah.
same, taught the same, but
now we started with this cutting the wood for coal is burning wood now, and we go down in the last fall and we start cutting up wood, and then we start splitting it and stuff. And to me, it doesn't get more enjoyable than spending a Saturday afternoon down in the woods with the sun shining, and the leaves are all on the grass, on the ground, and everything is nice and cool. You got a sweatshirt on, and you're cutting up wood with a bunch of guys. It's a lot of
Well, that's
fun.
what I've told you
Yeah,
before
it's
too.
a
Is
lot
it's
of
not
fun.
it's not what you're doing, it's who you're doing it
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
That
Yeah, and we work for a couple hours and we're done. We got a lot of stuff done. But,
Yeah.
I used to do it all by myself, and I never complained about it. I just liked to do it. But now it's kind of fun having the grandkids doing the same thing.
I
Teaching
only
them
have
how to
a
use.
grand
I
dog.
get it.
I only have a grand dog right
Well,
now,
that's-
so that's where I'm at. Let's point that out.
Yeah,
Oh, meow meow.
grand dog. I
And a
said
cat.
grand dog. I
Sorry,
was like,
Ray.
what?
I have a cat.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
your day will come. But,
Yeah,
but
a cat and a dog is what I.
But to me, I
currently-
enjoy that, and I like to hear Cole and Shay talk about how they enjoy that stove, and it just gives me a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
Just and it's not the end of the world, but it was nice. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
Mhm.
And it's,
Before you get Cade brings a friend and you
Cade
talk to them. and
Cade
you-
got all excited about chainsaws and
Mhm.
and it's so it's fun. We get a lot of wood to split.
I forgot to tell you that it isn't the same kind of wood, but the pallets that you gave me for the bonfire the other night worked pretty well.
They do.
We did go through all of them. I didn't think we were
Yeah.
going to.
Oh yeah. They
Big
burn up
gasoline
fairly
go
fast.
hard.
Yeah, they burn
Real
up
quick.
fast.
Tires,
Yeah.
Yeah.
air tubes. Where'd you burn
What's
it?
that?
Where'd you burn it at? Your house?
At my
Yeah.
house in the backyard.
He came out and got a trunk load of that pallet stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't use as much this year because for the camp out because we didn't have a fire until 9 o'clock that one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a few years before that.
And
Yeah,
plus
the fire
sometimes it's
burned
going in the
off.
morning, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But
we-
that makes nice wood because it burns it burns fast and then you get the heat. I got some more there that I should clean up. But
we had an exchange of you gave me a good and I gave you a service because you gave me the firewood and I taught you how to answer your phone on your new iOS.
yeah.
In the new iOS they have this or the new like update to iPhones. They have it so when someone calls you, it just pops up and it doesn't take up your entire screen. So sometimes you'll accidentally like instead of hitting the answer button, it'll swipe it up, and then Grandpa thinks that it just goes away. So he was telling me how you tried to call him and then
Yeah,
just
I
went
missed your
straight to
call.
voicemail.
For
Or
sure.
not, didn't go straight to voicemail. Like did all the ringing and everything,
Yep.
and then he just called you back, and then I did the same thing. I was like, well, he's like, I tried to answer your thing, and I'm like,
Well, what I'm doing is I'm on something else, and then the phone rings, and you get the button to decline
Yeah.
or to accept, and I click the accept button, but it doesn't accept. But he said, you got to hit it right directly.
they
on
made
the-
it much smaller and the
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
part of the screen now, but it is
We don't
nice.
use iPhones.
Yeah, it's nice because
But
now,
still similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It just drops down a little
yeah,
bit.
it's nice now because if you're, well, this is kind of mean to say, but if someone calls you that you don't want to answer, or like you're like right
Decline.
away, you can like continue, or you were doing something like you're texting someone, you don't have to.
Hang
You
up.
don't have to hang up.
You
You
can
can just finish your thing
yeah.
you're doing and then answer the phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
or
what
let it
it's
ring
for.
as if you're not.
Or
on.
let it ring and then but yeah,
Yeah.
without having to just stare at your phone. That's where I work at. We all have devices on our thing, and they're all connected to this phone service that I think in the store there's like phones that you can call and it goes to every staff member's device.
Yep.
But there's some weird like thing with it where you have to like transfer the call, and I don't know how to do it because I just started. So I feel like an asshole every time that there's like my phone is ringing and I'm just like completely ignoring it, and it's like full blast, like the phone ringing noise, and I'm like, well, I don't want to look like I don't want to help someone, but I literally don't know what to do to answer the phone,
Yeah.
and that takes up the entire screen. It's like, well, do I decline and I don't, or do I sit here and let it ring for a minute?
You click transfer.
Huh?
You click transfer.
Customer service.
Yeah, but you have to transfer it to like a certain number. That's the problem.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
anyways, that also reminds me of when you were talking earlier about compasses and stuff. They said that someone came to work and they're like, "Where are your maps?" And we're doing like a remodel of the entire store. So I was like, "Oh, like we have maps all over of what it's gonna look like when the store is done." I'm like, "Oh, we have some right there. Like, you want a map of the store?" And she's like, "No, like a map of Minnesota that I could put in my car." And I was like, "What?" She's like,
an atlas.
and I was like, "Oh, it's like an atlas or something." And they're like, "Yeah, an atlas would be perfect." So I'm like, I can look for one." And so I type it on the thing, obviously. but they have atlases and maps of Minnesota, but you can only order them online. It's like of all the things you could only order online, it's an item that only people without phones would need.
Used to give them away free at gas stations.
Oh, for sure.
20
Right,
years ago, 30 years ago.
right.
I feel like I've been on family trips when I was younger where we would have a whole map on
Oh,
the
yeah.
dashboard. And
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you wouldn't ask for directions. You knew where you were
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
4 hours later on a tour trip, you went the wrong way.
Well, we went. I remember we took the kids camping down to Pipestone one time, and we went the long way and stopped at the Laurel Engel Wilder
Yep.
sites and stuff, and it took forever. Driving in the back roads back, and we're all 5 of us in all our camping gear in a 1976 Volkswagen Rabbit. We were packed in there, and Sherry was sitting on Mom's lap. The old days, no seat belts. Well, we had
For
seat
sure.
belts, I guess, but all the way down there, how far is the Pipestone? So we get the map out and it's only that far.
Yeah.
Only that far.
200
But
miles,
yeah, every 200 miles. How far is it Pipestone? She got
We're
so
there
tired.
yet, we're there yet, we're there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
But no,
we finally did get to Pipestone.
Well, I remember that, and then I remember I used like MapQuest.
Yeah,
You use that ever? You print the sheets
Right,
out. I
yeah.
used that when
Hell yeah.
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 At work, we used to go on a
I had a Garmin after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
Real nice.
Now just your phone, but
No, yeah. Now people don't even know what a map is. What's a map?
Henry does.
I know.
I would say that might be a stretch. I think pretty much everyone knows what a
Well,
map is.
Where did I see that?
When the
one
grid
place?
falls, you guys are going to struggle to go like 10 miles. I'm going to go, woo, woo, woo. It's going to be
I
different.
might not.
Well,
Let's get on that
Majority.
island.
I saw a video once, Grandpa. This I don't know if you'll find this very interesting. Maybe Chase will, but there's this YouTube channel where people like they show these little kids like like older clips of stuff, and they're showing these like teenagers, and they all live in California, but they're showing these teenagers a clip of like the Terminator or something. And they're like, "Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger? He acted because he was the governor." And I was literally saw him like, "What?"
Yeah.
That was the most.
He acted before he was a governor, and he did a lot before.
Well, right. He's
Yeah.
probably still most known for being an actor than the governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like saying, "Oh, Ronald Reagan, he was the president."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
That guy
well,
came a long way. Arnold Schwarzenegger did.
yeah. Well, how long can you be the governor for? Is it only 8 years, or is it?
No, I
certain-
don't
Well, I don't know. It varies by state, I think.
The 2 terms of.
Well,
I
I
think it's
think
8 years,
I
isn't
think
it?
you can run more than that in most states. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up, but
I don't know.
it's not like the presidency where you're limited. And that was because of FDR.
Right.
You know,
Well, you ask Henry all about that. I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
yes. Henry knows a lot about presidents. So
But what was I gonna say? And he isn't even from this country, right? He probably so. Like that's another thing with when you're when you're the president, you have to be like born in the country and
yeah,
blah blah
35
blah. You
years
have
old,
to be 35 years old.
Yeah.
But when you're
He's been
governor,
here a
it's
long time, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, Arnold. He came from Austria, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
He was a huge guy. I mean, not tall. It's surprising how short he is.
Mhm.
But he was built like a big shit
I
house.
think he's like 6'1" still.
Oh, I don't know if he's
Is he
that
actually?
tall. I don't think he's that tall.
5'11".
I guess.
I saw him. I saw him when he was making Jingle All the Way in downtown
Yeah.
St. Paul.
So in person, you saw?
You saw him in real life?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They was filming. Yeah, they filmed right by Rice Park.
Yeah.
They had it was winter and they wanted snow and there was no
Oh, the
snow. They had
movie.
all the snow in and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
filmed in St. Paul.
I did not know
And I
that.
was in Rice Park when they were filming it. I saw his wife. The kids were there. And,
So, but did you see him from really far away?
well, yeah, I was maybe half a block away. I didn't see him go right up to him and say, "Hey, Arnold," But,
Yeah. So I was gonna say
No, but
maybe
he
that's why
did-
you thought he was short.
He
well,
started.
no, I've heard that before that he's
Oh,
he's short. I think
I was
he
gonna say.
wears lifts on his shoes when he's in movies and stuff to bring him up. Yeah. And they got ways of filming. Where they put the camera
Yeah.
angles.
Right, the
You
angle.
gotta do
Yeah,
all kinds
I bet
of
they do that
shit.
with Tom Cruise a lot because
Well,
he's like
yeah.
what,
Well, the
5'7".
majority of actors are not that big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. T, I mean,
yeah,
Stallone, all these people are way short.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I saw Harrison Ford too,
Right. But I mean, they're all not that big.
and he had lunch with Peter McNichol, who used to be on Ally McBeal.
I know that name.
Peter McNichol, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a nephew of a guy I worked with. He lived with him. But he had lunch with him, yeah. And was at his uncle's funeral and talked to him. Very nice guy. He was in Sophie's Choice with Meryl Streep.
Mm.
So he's not, but,
Well, anything else we need to talk about?
No, I was just going to say that Arnold came, like, he did bodybuilding, then he really wanted to act. And he tried to do that for quite some time, I think. And then he finally got some screen time doing stuff, and he was a pretty shit actor. And then he never really wasn't that great of an actor, but then he became governor, and then now he's like one of the most well-known people in the world, I would say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and still to this day known as like one of the greatest like physiques of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw
people
a picture.
still look
I
up.
just saw a
Kindergarten
picture
Cop. Oh yeah.
the other
Classic.
day of when he's in his muscle things, and I thought, holy shit, how do you?
Still today, people strive to like.
Yeah.
Nobody looks
Yeah.
like that. Nobody
Oh my
looks
God,
like that.
I mean, his arms are bulging all
Yeah,
over.
he
And
just had a
Jesus,
very-
chest was just,
Yeah.
That is like
Unbelievable.
the top tier.
Yeah.
What bodybuilders strive for is what he had.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anyone's really
But
has his type of physique.
was he before he became governor? He was still super popular. From when did he become the governor? Couldn't have been that long.
I don't
ago.
know what year, but after he had done
After he'd
bodybuilding,
done-
after he had acted,
But after all the the main
After all that.
Terminators and all that stuff,
Oh,
and
for sure.
yeah,
that's what I was mainly saying is like
Yeah.
when people are like
Probably
he
the
acted.
90s.
That's probably what he's most known for,
Yeah.
obviously.
he
for
did
being
before
in-
and after he was
Yeah.
governor, but
Yeah.
because he might still be in some films, but
Well, he was in one of the newer Terminator movies, but I don't know. I saw him doing some. He was the announcer at one of those like slap competition things. He was like one
where
of
they
the.
slap each other.
Yeah, it's you ever
I
never
know
see?
what it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
They
like
slap
a.
the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
Have
they
you ever
just-
seen that?
I don't think I did.
It's literally just they go on a stage and it's like you have there's certain rules
like
that you have to
they're arm
do
wrestling.
to slap each other in the face and not get knocked out.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And
Watch
then,
I like
then
my
Arnold is there.
my odds.
Yeah.
Oh,
You do a good
Sometimes
slap.
they hit him like close to the ear, and it's like
well, you slap your ear like that, you could break your eardrum.
yeah.
Well, right.
That's what I heard. That you can do that. Bang them on both eardrums, and you snap your eardrums. It's painful as hell.
That's a way to like knock
Knock
someone
somebody
out or
out,
something.
yeah.
Punch him in the nose. Too,
His
and then
story's
cry
kind of
a
like
baby.
Dwayne Johnson's. Only Dwayne Johnson.
That's what I was gonna
took it
say.
A lot more. He got a lot bigger, but
Yeah. Well, Dwayne Johnson is probably one of the most popular celebrities right now. I'd say he's in like
I
every
would say
single movie.
probably, if not one of the most, probably the most.
The
yeah.
Rock.
Yeah,
The Rock. Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's.
Dwayne and
As
John
big as
Cena
that
both
guy.
were pretty much the same path of how they act.
Yeah.
Obviously, The Rock is more popular than John Cena, but yeah. Well, we're gonna say anything else left to say, Grandpa? Probably not.
I said enough. I think.
Okay.
I got in enough trouble.
Got enough trouble? Nothing? Alright.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Go hard.
Go hard.
As this is my second one I've done now,
Yeah.
I do enjoy when you forget there's a camera on you. Just the stories that are told, like listening to it. It's interesting.
And then you look at that thing and it says 1 hour and 37 minutes, and you're like, what?
And I didn't know that much time.
Doesn't
went by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to cut it down to?
Well,
36.
cut wherever the intros began from.
Yeah.
We tried to do the podcast. That was kind of weird at the beginning. We tried to do the intro and then we kind of had dead air for a while. And we're like, uh-oh. But then
Yeah.
we started with when I said the dog food thing. We kind of went from there. We never had a lot of dead air.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
But yeah,
Doesn't matter.
right.
You just do it.
But then what did get cut out at the beginning was when we said that we were going to do this in the garage, and we'd been planning to do this podcast the whole vacation. This is the 4th day of the vacation, and then all of a sudden now, as soon as we start doing the podcast in the garage, we get all the chairs set up. We turn off the refrigerator so there's no noise, and all of a sudden now
Turn
people,
back on.
yeah,
It's back. I did turn
Oh.
it back.
and now all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, we want to go in here and play." It's like, "Oh, really?"
Ping
Because
pong.
we all day today nobody wanted to do anything, and the last 3 nights nobody really did anything. But Whatever.
That's all life is.
That's
the
all
way
life
it
is.
Right.
You're not first, you're last,
Yeah.
and then all of a
You
sudden,
can't win with 20 people.
don't want to play with those toys, but when somebody else does, everyone wants to play with those toys.
Yeah. Yeah, but people were asking like, "Oh, are you gonna do the podcast in there?" And never said, "Oh, we wanted to play beer pong."
The glass door. I'm just.
Yeah, it's all good.
But maybe that's we never did play rock paper scissors on who got the room. We just said you can have it.
See, there you go.
That's the
Compromise.
grandpa. That's the grandpa and Jeff philosophy.
Well,
You didn't even know you were doing it. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
did it.
Compromise.
Learning new things every day.
Yep.
All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time to end.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for inviting us.
Let's hope that the recording was going because I actually didn't I was going to check the first 10 minutes.
See it going.
Yeah, well, I can see the audio's
Oh,
going, but I don't know if the
video.
video's going. I might have to do a drawing. Do an animation of the episode if it's not going. Oh well. All right.